Hi guys, I'm here to talk about fractions today. So this video is probably the first one you should watch to do with this topic. Okay, so I've written out what is a fraction on the board here. And some things we need to remember with fractions is that they are part of a whole. Okay, and the really key thing to remember is that they must be equal in size, okay, to be a true fraction. So there's three types of fractions. The first one is a proper fraction. Alright, and that's when we've got a number like this, where the top is smaller than the bottom. Before I go on, I should talk about what those words actually mean. Okay, so we've got what those numbers mean. We've got the numerator, and we've got the denominator. Okay, and this little line that divides the two parts of the fraction is called the vinculum. Okay, so when we have a proper fraction, which in grade 5 is probably our most common types that we work with, the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Okay, so it's bottom heavy. The second type of fraction that we have is an improper fraction. Okay, and it's the reverse of a proper fraction where we've got the number on top, the numerator, is larger than the denominator. Okay, and the third type of fraction is actually called a mixed number. And a mixed number is a fraction, is a whole number and a little bit of a fraction together. So 1 1/2 or 3 2/3. So it's bigger than 1. Okay, so let's go 1 1/2 for this example. Okay, now these two, improper fraction and a mixed number, they have a strong connection to each other, and you can represent a fraction by going through a process where you change the outcome. Okay, so it can actually be the same fraction but represented in two different ways, improper and then also as a mixed number, and this is an example of that. I'm not going to go into this video how we changed fractions from improper fractions to mixed numbers, because that's a little bit of a separate topic that I'd like to address in a different video. The other thing I wanted to just address in this video is that if you ever see a fraction that has a numerator and a denominator that is the same, for example 7/7, or let's say 13/13, as a random example, if the numerator and the denominator are the same, they always equal one whole. Okay, and that makes sense when we're thinking about fractions. If it's 7 parts out of 7, so 7 out of 7 parts, sorry, for example, that's the whole thing, so that's 1. If it's 13 out of 13 parts, that's everything, so that's 1 as well. So that's a little handy thing to remember. That will help you with this concept a little bit later too.